Happy Friday, ladies. So, hope you had a great week. I actually came down with something on Wednesday, so I've been practicing all of my self-care. I don't know what I got, but it came on really suddenly, and so I've been eating a lot of healing soups and drinking a lot of healing teas and getting a lot of sleep, taking Epsom salt baths, and just taking it easy and really practicing all of my self-care because obviously there's something that needs to move through me. I even canceled one of my online classes last night that I teach live. I just was not feeling up to teaching. And so just recognizing that I could not show up 100% for people and being okay with that. No judgment around it. If I can't show up 100% for what I teach, then I'm just not going to show up, and I'm going to do what I need to do for my own self-care. So I practice what I preach. That's the moral of the story. So how are you ladies doing with your self-care? It's December 6th, and it is our holiday season. So are you practicing self-care? Are you being mindful about what you need this holiday season? Are you really listening to your body and slowing down the pace a little bit and being more mindful? Are you flowing in and out of that? So are you thinking about the self-care a little bit more? It's more on your mind. You're more aware of it, yet sometimes you're lagging behind in practicing the self-care? Or are you just going full throttle, like no thinking about self-care at all? You've got a ton of stuff to get done, and you carry the weight of it all on your shoulders. You're the only one that can do it, and you have to move forward with it no matter what your body's telling you or what else is going on. Which camp are you kind of lying in? Like, do a little self-check before you gear up for a busy weekend. Do a little self-check and kind of see where you're at with that. And no judgment. I mean, judgment, we judge ourselves all the time. We judge ourselves, we judge other people, we judge what the day should look like, we judge where we should be at. It's exhausting. Like, I get caught up in this myself too. And the more and more I see around the judgment piece, the more I see that I spend a lot of my energy there, and I don't need to. I don't need to carry that weight of judgment around on me all the time, especially judging myself a lot, but I still judge other people. I judge things that come into my life that I think should look a certain way. The judgment piece, it will zap you out. There's these things in life I call juicers and zappers. So the juicers are things that like energetically fill you up and make you feel good, and you're in the flow with them, and they just fill you up. And the zappers are the things that zap our energy, right? So the judgment is a sure zapper, and we all do it. But you can be a little bit more aware of that. So no judging where you're at with the self-care, but just being aware of where you're at will go a long way, because when you become aware, then you can start digging a little bit more into the why, and that's where the juice is at. That's where things start to shift, because then you can start asking yourself, well, why am I going that way? Like, why do I feel like I need to run down the road 110 miles an hour and do everything, and nobody else can do it, and I don't have to listen to my body? Like, where is that coming from? And a lot of times it's just coming from our own mental chatter. We're putting these rules, we're putting these restrictions, we're putting all of this stuff on ourselves, and it doesn't have to be that way. We start seeing that when we start questioning that mental chatter with the rules and things that we're putting on ourselves, that it doesn't have any answers for us, and it will dissipate on its own, and there's a certain ease and a certain grace and a certain freedom that can come out of that for you. So just being more aware of where you're at with your self-care, no judging it at all, and just letting the awareness bring you answers about where you're at, like clarity, wisdom, what you can see more around that for yourself. And I just, if there's something that's really going on with me that feels heavy, that's the first clue when something's going awry or out of alignment, I guess, with how I'm feeling, is I feel heavy about it. And if I feel heavy about it, I just ask to see more. I'd like to see more around this. And then I try to get quiet, and that's when that wisdom that lives inside of me comes through for me to see more answers. And I don't care where you're at with anything, there's always more to see. So like I'm seeing new stuff every single day because I'm staying in this conversation. So even if you take 5 minutes and listen to this, or 5 minutes and listen to somebody else's podcast, 5 minutes to read an article on self-care, 5 minutes here and there, it adds up. And then things start to shift inside of you and you start seeing things differently. So I would say lose the judgment, be aware of where you are at and get with the self-care and get curious about it and stay in the conversation. Any little bit that you can give yourself to see more, any resource that you can plug into that's easy for you to sort of change that mental chatter that's going on in your mind, is like gold. That is where the juice is, and that stuff goes into you. You might not realize it, but it's penetrating you in some way, and there's internal things that are shifting inside of you, and changes will come out of that, and you won't know until you're in the moment and you do something different, or you speak differently. Something will you will speak, something will be different, and you'll go, where did that come from? Like you'll be laying in bed one day and your usual manner, even though you don't feel well, will be to jump out of bed and go shopping or push yourself full throttle, and you'll decide that you don't need to do that, and you'll wonder, where did that come from? Like, that's not my normal. And that's when you realize that there's changes happening that you're not aware of, that they actually are happening inside of you. So just a few little tips for checking in with where you're at for the self-care. Have a marvelous weekend. I am going to continue on with my healing journey over the weekend. And hopefully when I check in with you ladies on Monday, you will all report a wonderful self-care weekend. And post in the comments for this video. I'm just curious, where are you guys at with this? Are you in the camp that practice self-care regularly? Are you one of the people that kind of go in and out, like you do sometimes and then other times you really brush it to the side? Or are you just not practicing any self-care at all? And you own it, right? And you own it. So just post in the comments, I'm curious. But hopefully I'll be back up to 100% on Monday, and I will continue to heal over the weekend, and I will come back to you Monday with some more tips for self-care around the holidays. So much love. Enjoy your weekend.